Welcome to this episode of the Convo, the show that allows for conversation and discussions as regarding relationships, marriage, money, finance, struggles, betrayal, and what have you. And most especially, streamlined into these particular three categories, which are faith, kingdom, and lifestyle. Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Right. So it's a new season and it's a new year. Right. Happy New Year to you, our viewers, too. And I know you are enjoying this show already and you want to keep up with our new episodes as they come in weekly. So do yourself a good if you're a first timer to click on the subscribe button and also on the notification so you will be the first to know about the new episode when it drops. And also remember to follow us on all our social media handles at the Convo 234. We have something great for you today, and it's a conversation that you really enjoy and learn from. And let's just dive into it. But before then, I'm not alone in the studio. I have great minds, great people of the same like minds to share and to discuss on this particular topic today. And I'm going to be starting. I've been starting on my left a lot. So this time I'm going to be starting on my right. And to my right, to my immediate right, I have one woman, plenty in one. She's special. She's pardon my English anyway. I'm my Igbo language too, but whatever it is. Her name is Jules of Africa. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining to converse on this particular topic. And then to my far right still is none other person. We call him the apostle without a pulpit. But in the meantime, we are still constructing his pulpit. Let's welcome Chris.
Good to be back.
Yeah, Chris Amuson. Thank you for joining us again. And then back to my left-hand side, I have none other than our delectable. And you can see that the outfit is giving what it should give. You know, a bride in the making. The smile is smiling. You know, the face is facing. Welcome, my own person, Femola.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome. And also to the person in the middle of my left-hand side is none other person. He's a good friend of mine, a great mind indeed. Unachi Sunday.
Just after they form the right of my helper. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you guys are cool. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good to have you guys. And like always, you know, I used to look at her as someone that is there more from this woman. Every day she would just dish out knowledge. Nobody say she just fine. There is brain. There is beauty. You can't get sense. Better picking. A full yard wife material with extra jara. I'm talking of no other person as Dorothy and a praise.
Pass me the tissue. So good to be back here again. Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. All right. So, guys, how you guys feeling? It's New Year already. Yeah. So, it's going to be a very interesting conversation that we all are familiar with. But I really want us to talk about it in the sense that New Year resolution. I'm just going to put it out there. It's New Year. We're talking about New Year resolution. And the twist is merit or myth. New Year resolution, is it a merit or is it a myth, as it were? But I'm going to be opening the conversation with our knowledge of New Year resolutions or resolution generally. But I'll be starting from my right hand with the apostle. Right? So let him bless this conversation for us.
Okay, so
wait. Your pulpit, we are still constructing
Okay.
So bless this conversation. Your own view as regarding resolution
it's
generally.
good to
or
be
New Year.
the person starting the conversation this year.
Right.
So New Year resolution. Well, I don't do New Year resolutions. I'm not that serious. So I'm not that serious. I try to, run away from that. But New Year resolutions generally, what you resolved to do. Simple. And then I think people appraise themselves. And at the end of the year, they say, okay, this is what I did in the course of the going year or the past year. And so this is what I want to do in this new year. So I think that's the genesis of New Year resolution. And My perspective to New Year resolution, yeah, age as the year goes by, your age increases. You have, would I say, you have less time or lesser time to do the things that are ahead of you, to live the life you're meant to live, and then the resolutions are meant to make you to align to your purpose on earth. But New Year resolutions, does it really, how effective?
Yeah. But I'll pause you on that. I like your own understanding of that. We'll go forward, but I will be going with Fresh Boy. So, what's your own take on that? I know maybe your own year, maybe you want to get fresher, or this new look is there a meaning to it?
I think I was inspired by the afro from.
Oh, but she now combed it.
Now today she decided not to come with afro. But anyway, her afro would have been blocking my
left your
view,
hand.
so it's okay. I would have loved to hear the ladies speak first, but since you asked me to talk, I will. I think New Year resolution to me is a personal inflicted pressure. If every single year, every single new year, you have to make a resolution, then I feel there's something that's wrong somewhere. Matter of fact, a lot of us don't keep to it. Why write it or why profess it? I believe that every new year is an opportunity to review what the previous year has been to you and what you intend to do. For me, it's not a matter of writing new things you want to do this year or the things you don't want to do this year. If in 2024, I set a target to achieve, I should be able to ask myself, did I achieve those targets? We come into the new year with a lot of emotions and not logical reasoning. A lot of people start the new year, there's so much energy, I want to do this, I want to do that. Give them 1 week or 2 weeks, that energy dies. That's emotion. But if you bring in logical reasoning, you ask yourself specific questions and put to the table achievable goals and targets. It could be 1, it could be 2. But at the end of the day, were you able to achieve them? What are the things required to achieve them? Some persons say, oh, this year I don't want to be going to XYZ. That's a resolution. I don't want to. There are so many things, okay? But for me, new resolution doesn't work if you cannot evaluate what the previous year has in stock, if you were able to achieve the things you set or not. So it's not giving 10 things I don't want to do in 2025 or 100 things I don't want to do or 100 things I want to do. I think new resolution is just a self-inflicted pressure on individuals.
So in the case, like the New Year, New Me gang.
Exactly.
New Year, New
New
Me.
me.
So no haters, New Year, New Me. So what you're saying in essence is, so you become new. Like the Bible said, renewing your mind.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
So, but I'll get there with you. But
Yes.
let me take
Okay.
Dorothy
I think
on
we'll
this.
come back to that.
Yeah, let me
particular.
take Dorothy on this. Let me hear your own viewers regarding New Year resolution. What's your own take on it?
I just realized that I'm actually an old person. Honestly. Because I know when this New Year resolution thing began to make sense to me. As you grow, if you just hear people say, New Year resolution, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to do that again. You too, you now join the queue, So it begins to make sense to you the older you get. Realization begins to set in and all of that. So if you asked me this question 2-3 years ago, perhaps my answer would have been different. But I like that I have also come to a space where I have understood that the idea of New Year resolution could be called different things by different people. Some people say it's vision board. Some people say, oh, it's a great time to take stock. Some people say, oh, the idea of the name resolution may have been the problem. It may be what has watered the concept of New Year resolution down. Because the idea of it is fantastic. If you look at the original purpose for what it is meant to be, it's great. So, I personally was not big on New Year resolution. I remember when I was in the university, it was a big deal. I used to have one friend, a guy, who
Like a guy or the guy.
Misunderstood. I don't know what you're talking about. Who for a very, I think he had a lot to do with my reorientation about the concept of New Year resolution. So he would say that he did not fancy the idea of a New Year resolution. That your daily living, your decisions daily, summed up to what your entire year would be. So during the course of the year, the beginning of the year, you can start up and say, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Let's take, for instance, I don't want to, for people who are doing diets, I would watch my diet. I don't want to eat something anymore because I don't want a particular result. To whom do you lie if you sneak into the fridge at whatever time to eat? I say, I cannot kill myself.
I didn't even kill anybody.
During, then during the day, you are the one who wants to champion the conversation and say, oh, this year we will do this, we will do that. I think the honesty of the purpose for why you do a resolution, I think it's fantastic. This year, for instance, there's some decisions I made. On 29th of...
Okay, so I'm going to cut you there. I wouldn't want you to continue, so just chill. Your resolution you made this year, who gets it?
Okay.
So I know I'm very sure it's going to be mostly financially. I'm coming back there. So I'm going to take juice on that now. So your own knowledge of New Year resolution.
So I think New Year resolution is personal decision to do or not to do. And I don't think my personal decision to do or not to do has a tag of first, second, or third of a year. It's a decision to do or not to do. I could decide that my New Year resolution, quote unquote, is on my birthday. That's a new year for me. That's when my new year starts. So I think the idea of New Year resolution differs for every person. What is your decision? What do you want to do? It's fantastic, but really, how realistic is the step in achieving New Year resolutions?
Great. Femola, let me hear you on this.
Yes, I would say New Year resolutions are goals that you set for yourself to achieve that year. And like what Dorothy said earlier, you evaluate your previous year and then it helps you decide what you want to do. And I think most people fail, or should I say they fail in their New Year resolutions like the first or second week of January. The reason is because they don't break it down into actionable goals, or should I say steps. So like every month, every quarter of the month, I want to have achieved this. I want to have done that. And then we have the SMART concept. We have the S for specific, M for measurable, achievable. So when you set your goals like that, and then the T for time bound, oh, I would like to do my master's this year. Oh, when does the admission window open? Oh, okay, I must do my GRE before I can apply for this. So let me get my GRE done first. So I think, and I also agree that as you grow older, maybe before too, when I was younger, and they say, okay, I don't want to be rude to my mommy again. When they say, come and sweep the floor, I will sweep immediately. I don't want to argue. But second week of January, I'm falling short. But okay, now I know that if I don't write these goals, I might forget. We are human beings. I have notepads everywhere. I might forget. And then there is also a study I've forgotten. I don't know if it's by the New York Times or something, but that 60% of people who write out their goals, they have more chances of achieving them than people who do not even bother at all. Like, oh, it's all in my head. I know what I will do. So I believe in the concept of New Year resolution.
Great, I like that. So I'm going to take us a bit on the lighter notes now. Maybe I'm going to start, right? Yeah. So that particular, before now, so that particular funny New Year resolution that you actually set for yourself, that you struggle with in the new year, like she said, mine is going to be saving, right? That year, I wrote it at the end of the year, like, guy, I'm going to buy a piggy bank in the house. And for the better language of those that are watching, in my language, they call it kolo. Right, so let's make it what it is. It's kolo, right? So I said I'm going to, I saw some guys that did it, and I said, but I've not actually developed the values and character of saving. So I just wish to save. So I now saw someone. So I had to buy the kolo. I was putting it. Me, I was writing the number of money I was putting. I know that I put 15 naira today. So my mind was there. 15 I said, okay. So by the end of January, my dear brothers and sisters, I am the one that opened the colo myself. Do you know the crazy thing? It was made of metal. It was a recycled idea made from the tin, this milk tin and all of those things. So how did the breaking of the resolution start? I'll get a tool to open it from one side, put a scissors inside, put out some money, use for what I wanted to
You know,
use.
he was saving for rainy days.
He was bringing the rainy days closer.
So that was funny. It was a resolution. I resolute over that. So I would like to hear such funny experiences from you, Chris. If there's any resolution that you actually
like I said, I've never been a New Year resolution person. I think I have vision for each year. Like she said, people operate vision board. I just set out and I said next year, this is I really believe in a lot in vision because I always want to work with a picture. So let's say, for example, let's say I'm trying to work towards 100 million naira. There are things I need to do to be able to achieve 100 million naira. Okay, so I know that I need to work on my network. What are the things, what are the works that I'm doing that could give me the 100 million naira? So if I don't have a job or I don't have something doing that could give me 100 million naira, then it means that I've just been building skyscrapers or castle in the air. Yeah. So for that, I think it's a lot of work. But to answer your question, I'm not a New Year resolution person, so I've never really had
fresh
anything.
boy. I know maybe that year you wrote it. I'm going to be fresher.
Well,
Then the year now came. Dollar was.
I think I think this same experience you had, I have it. So at the end of the year, when I see people breaking their piggy bank, that colo, I'm like, what was I doing with my life all these years? Can't I just try this for once and be disciplined? In fact, next year we go there. I'll go and buy.
Wow.
But I give myself 1 month. I'm already calculating. How much did I put the other day? Do you know? I will go back and break that in even before we get to the end of January or February. I've broken that stuff. And then that's the end. I'm not even going back to it again.
It's broken, it's broken.
I've broken it. So
I like your resolution.
yeah, so that's the result. And it's so bad. And I think what I learned from that is I was driven by emotions. There was no discipline to carry through. So a lot of people make decisions without backing it up with discipline. So if you make a resolution, like she said, she gave an example.
Yeah.
I think what we term resolution is totally different from vision boarding. All right? Some of the resolutions that we made that we think, okay, maybe when you were little, you say you go and pick meat from the pot. This year, no more.
No more meat.
I don't sweep, I don't clean the house. This year, no more. But give it 3 weeks. You are back to all. You say, oh, this year I'm not going to insult anybody again. I know some people that wake up and say, oh, yeah, we really. You understand? There are people, the year has just started. They're already telling you. Meanwhile, on the 31st night, God, I will never more say that. However, when the year starts, it's a call for first reflection and then decision making that will be backed with discipline. But setting steps because someone does it, sometimes you can never keep to it.
Right, so
I was a victim of the colo saving thing. So
all right,
Colo
so
set
I'm
up.
going to ask this. You have an experience you want to
Yes,
share?
I have.
Okay.
So this was even last year. I said, "Oh, I wanted to lose." Okay, so I wanted to lose weight. So last year, I just wanted to be. I wanted to have the flat stomach. I'm very slim, but my stomach is not so slim. That's how my cousins came from Jan, though. Hey, Femola, come and enjoy. Hey!
So they were the
First
weapons
day,
fashioned against you.
We went to Leño. I said, Jesus.
Yeah,
I ate. They even took home safe. The ones that they couldn't even. They said, this thing. I said, let's take everything home. Let's say, I got home, balanced, ate another round, shawarma, I think from Folix. I ate a lot. Because I was like, these people, they are going, after 2 weeks, they will soon go. Make I enjoy the enjoyment where I want to enjoy.
I'll be able
And
to
and
focus.
that was it. I lost
That was
focus.
the end
Resolution
of
was
it.
in
Resolution.
just small assorted.
But who would have done? If you're in that position,
Small
who would have
assorted.
done?
You know, the discipline. You know, you have to have the inner discipline. Even though I lost my, it fell. It fell on my hand. My discipline fell. So that's why I opened the colo. Okay, so this is what I'm going to ask again. Like, I want us to really identify the myth in New Year resolution for people, right? The myth. What are the myths in New Year resolutions, right? So I'm going to go with you first. The myth in New Year resolutions that I bet one of the things that I will identify is that we go again next year. If we fail today, we go again next year. And what that does to you as a person is it kills your call to discipline, right? It affects you to respond to discipline. No doubt, no pressure. You can always try again, right? But for how long? That's the question. But for how long are you going to keep trying? Till you get it, yes, but time waits for nobody, right? We should make a while the sun shines. So I'm going to go with you first. What are the myths you think you've been able to identify in the past years and or in the recent time that affects people's New Year resolution?
One of the myths I think is unrealistic. Should I call them goals? Chris said something. You want to save 1 million naira, but you don't even 100. Let's even use 1 million. 100 is still. Let's take it. Let's bring it down. Okay, keep it up. You want to save 100 million, but you don't even have a job, quote unquote. You don't earn 500,000 in a month. How do you want to save 100 billion?
No, they have declared it in my church.
Oh,
Amen, hallelujah.
Amen, yeah.
Like
yeah.
it is my year.
Faith in action.
Faith
Faith
in
in
action. Yeah, it's
action.
my year. Faith in action.
So one of the myths is unrealistic goals. There are some goals that are so unrealistic. Even you, by yourself, in yourself, beside yourself, outside yourself, you know that you can't. So one of the myths is unrealistic. People just pick up their pen and just start writing. They don't think it through. You don't even think. So I feel like if you made a goal last year, if you don't appraise the goals you made last year, how do you even know you achieved them or not? How do you tell of the shortcomings from last year? So if you don't appraise last year, really, you will still come this year. All the goals you wrote last year, you will forget and still try them again this year. And you probably won't achieve it. On that myth, I think is, okay, we all have the idea that you broke your colo and you ate your money. And at the point where you did that, you felt like, I've done it, there was no point to save. It's a myth. The fact that you failed today doesn't mean you can't start tomorrow. You failed to save in January. You can start saving in February. There's no time. I don't think that's a myth that once you fail, once there is a setback, the resolution has ended, the resolution don't cut. You give your life to God. You fell short in sin. Does it mean God now say, this child is gone, I don't want you again? No, it's a myth. It's not true. The fact that you failed today don't mean your resolution has scattered. Everything don't end. It cannot work. That's a myth people have in their head. And that myth people have in their head about New Year resolution is that it must start on the first day of the year. I don't think your New Year resolution has to start on the first day of the year. Like I said, my New Year resolution could have started in October when it's my birthday. It's a new year in my life.
Actually telling us your birthday.
Yes, my birthday is October. I can't even tell you the date so that maybe by that day we will do Convo. Hey, Pratico
You
said.
can actually start saving up.
So you guys can October 31st.
We can add you to
And
our
our
New Year
followers
resolution.
and those subscribe can send him money.
All right, no problem.
Yeah, so those are
pick
like
those
myths
things. Yeah, I
to
pick
New
those
Year
things.
resolution that people make. And the goals are not measured. You feel if you fail, you can't continue, and you think New Year resolution can only start
On
at the first day of the year. It
All
can
right.
start anytime. What if during January you were not in the head space to think of your goals and decisions to make? What if you started in February? So
Great.
yeah.
Nice. I would like to hear from you, Dorothy.
Okay, so for me, I agree with everything Jules said, but I always like to see it as the cart and the horse, right? There are some goals that may seem unrealistic, But do you know that you can actually make it realistic just by putting the right one with the cart and the horse, right? So you have to put the horses in front. They have to drive the cart. They have to gallop for the cart to follow along, right? So if I want to make 100 million naira in 2025, what stops me from making 100 million naira in 2025? It will be far-fetched if, oh, my mind tells me I don't have that money, or I don't have a source to it, or I mean, this is 2025, for crying out loud. There is a lot you could do, right? You could take advantage of social media, you could do a lot of things, but that's just one part of it. For me, though, one of the myths about New Year resolutions is surrounding yourself with the same thing. It could be people, it could be habits, it could be circumstances. Just finding yourself in the same, what's it called, maze, you would hardly get out of it. It's just common sense, right? So I don't want to drink alcohol anymore, at least not to a certain degree. Some people say it's only when you get drunk that it's a problem. But that's another conversation altogether. Whatever works for you. So I don't want to drink alcohol to that degree anymore. January agrees with me, or whatever month of the year I decide to pick. And then during the course of the year, that's when I get that call from that sister from
Jan.
And I see myself relapse like 10 steps back,
Yeah.
you know. There are some things that sheer discipline would hinder you from doing. And honestly, there is no resolution without discipline. Because believe you me, there are times you will stand in front of yourself and you will tell yourself, guy, just forget this thing. No be only you kid Jesus.
We plenty for you.
You understand? So it is the discipline that would answer you and tell you, remember why we started. Remember why we're here.
That will make you go back even when you fail.
Exactly. So as at the point I was trying to make earlier about 29th, there was something I decided to do in 2025. As at 29th December 2024, I had not decided on it. Yes. 30th December 2024, I had not even decided. It was on the 31st I stood and I told myself that, you see this thing, we will do it. Guess what? How many days in January? 3. Only. Behold, I have had moments that I have told myself, what is the meaning of this? Guy, I beg you. But then I have to, I need to, I'm for my kind of person, I'm quite choleric. I don't know who has read Tim LaHaye's book here.
That
It's
choleric
spiritual. It's not zodiac. It's not horoscope.
Yeah, it's not.
Break
Yeah.
the choleric for.
So, I'm choleric. This means I'm goal-driven. I'm result-oriented. What's the choleric pack, you know? That is goal-driven.
That is goal-driven.
Goal-driven. You need to be
Determined.
tough.
They are
Yeah, you
more
need to-
disciplined than a
Exactly.
sanguine.
Yeah, I'm more choleric. I mean, you have a combination of those, but
Yeah.
that's a different conversation. But the point I'm trying to make is that at the end of the day, if I don't see results immediately, I am likely that person that would, I beg. That's how I function. So I need to tell myself that it's a good thing to be goal-driven. It could also be the spanner in the wheel. It's a two-edged sword. You need to be able to identify what will work for you during the period. So that's another thing. If you don't have discipline, you will not see all of these things. So it's not about standing in front of your mirror naked and praying and saying, let the heavens fall. This is what I want to do this year. And then as you are finishing that thing, you're exposing yourself to the same habits, to the same people, to the same circumstances. You will not grow.
All right. Onachi, let me hear from you, please.
Okay. Oh.
I like that. Okay. Oh.
Well,
the myth.
Yeah, I think one of the myths I would like to point to is the mindset that it has to be this time. If it's not this time, then it's not it. Like Julie said, if you don't set those goals from January, then it's not working. The truth is that you can make some resolutions in January, and as you move on, you realize that you are not able to achieve them. You can recalibrate, and then okay, how do I move forward with this? Sometimes these things are experimental. You
Yeah.
can say, okay, like Chris said, I want to hit 100 million target. Is it achievable? Mindset, yes. The question will be, do
Why
I
people
have-
always using 100 million targets? Can we do another thing?
yes. Okay. Let's say
Or maybe increase
$2
it.
billion.
let's say 2 billion. You want to hit a 2 billion as a business
No,
person.
let us use money. Use another thing.
Like, okay,
you want to travel to
I want to drive
36
limo.
countries in the world.
Or you want to get married
Or you
for
want to
the people
get
that want to
married.
marry.
For those that
Is
are
it a
not
New Year
married.
Yes.
resolution?
Yes, getting
It's
married
not-
is a goal.
It's a goal.
There's some things you cannot control.
Well,
Yeah,
as a woman,
Yeah.
So I think that's why I didn't use something like that.
Yeah.
Money you can control.
you
it.
can't
Okay.
control your
Control
For
your
marriage,
money.
What
you
about
cannot
what
control.
about
You
weight?
you cannot.
What
always
about
control
Wait, you
marriage.
can't
As a
You
control.
have
man.
control over weight. What
Yeah.
about
No.
Savings,
I
you have
disagree.
I don't have a
savings,
weight
yes.
problem.
No,
sorry.
Career goals.
if you
Savings.
say you cannot have control over marriage,
Marriage.
I have an
Time-
issue with
time
that.
to marry.
No.
A time to marry.
Yeah.
It's individualistic.
Yeah.
It cannot be generalized.
Yes.
Yeah.
I told myself I,
I
was
share
going
in
to
his
get
views.
married.
you're a man.
That's where I'm going to. As a man, I said
Okay, I
I
want
will
to get married
get
in
married.
2025 and my
If you- if
and
you're
my
not in a
very
relationship.
significant other don't
No.
want to get married
And you're not in a
I met
relationship.
him.
Why-
I've not even met him.
So the question is, you've not, as a woman, you've not met, or even as a man, you've not
Yeah.
met. But if you set your goal to search for someone, you don't need to date someone for 5 years before you
course,
marry the
of course.
person.
I-
You
I-
can
I-
meet the person and you say, this person
I want to marry.
checks all the boxes and I'm ready to marry. And if you ask her and she's ready to marry, then you can
But
go
the
ahead.
man,
So
you
how
are a
realistic-
man.
Wait,
Yeah.
You're a man. So where do I
so,
stand
yes.
for you to find
So
me?
that's why I'm saying,
One.
yes,
Sorry, excuse me.
it's fine.
You meet the person.
You're right.
Now, I don't have control over when I'll meet the person that ticks all the boxes. Two, another very valid point you made. If the person is willing, you said you
And
will talk to the
able.
person
So
and the
okay,
person
so
agrees.
yeah, so let's
Again,
let me
out
take
of your
it.
control.
So no, it's not. I will say why. Before I got married, I wrote in my journal that I would like to be married or to find the person I'll get married to at 29, at most 30. I should be married.
Okay.
I met the person I was going to get married to towards the end of my 28th birthday. And as I met the person, I just told her my intention, which is my wife, that I'm not here to play games. I want to
Oh
get
my
married.
God.
That's my guy. That's my
Right?
guy. That's my guy.
Right?
This
So
one skipped.
that was something. And then when I said it, I think she too was ready. Okay?
Because it happened for you does not mean it's
Exactly.
like that with
That's
every
what I'm
other
saying. I said so that it's not a
still don't
a
have
general
five
thing,
years,
right? It's not. It could happen if that's your goal and it happens for you. Fine.
Fine.
If
yeah.
it happens for me, that's fine. But let's go. But we have
Yeah,
diverted
yeah.
from the conversation.
I
So
get you.
I'm just trying to say that if you don't start the goal, or if you couldn't meet up from the first
Part of the year.
part of the year, nothing stops you from starting at the point you realize that this is where I should start from. A lot of people just move on and say, okay, as I don't fail, you know. Like she gave an example. She told herself, 29 she has not decided, 30 she hasn't, 31st she decided, but 3 days into the new year, it's like, I beg. She can start something else. And at the end of the year, she hits the goal and she moves on with her life. But I think a lot of people always say, if you fail meeting those things you set in January, then the year is already a failed one for
Right,
you.
so
But I
that's
think
a very
problem.
that's a myth you have one to share too. A myth.
Me, I would just say that people are most likely to fail when they don't write the how of their goals.
Yeah.
So you say, oh, I would like to, okay, like I said, I would like to do my master's in the US or in Canada or another country. And then you don't even look at schools that are within your budget, schools that offer scholarships and all of those things. You just apply randomly. And then maybe when you don't even apply, you don't even know when the admission window will be open. And then by the end of the year, you're like, wow, hey God, we go again next year. Because you did not apply at the time you were supposed to apply. Even if you now decide that, okay, I'm ready to start from where I am, that year is gone. You have to
Great.
consider some
I think
goals.
I would love to add that. A couple of things I wanted to say, talking about time, and a lot of people are time constrained. So the problem we have is, I think the new, putting that new there. So maybe when we remove, if we remove the new, maybe the pressure becomes less.
Okay.
Then another part to it is, I think people think New Year resolutions will just bring results by themselves. So they think if I resolve in my heart, yeah, they've read aspire to perspire. So if I resolve in my heart to lose weight,
The universe.
so the universe, yeah, everything begins to work together. Yeah, God causes all things to work together for good to those who love the Lord. Yes, to those who love the Lord. But it is expected that to achieve, we need to take it from New Year resolution to goals.
Goals.
So 2025 goals. Then you set you set KPIs. Yeah. So you can't say I want to lose weight. You said to, okay, by the end of January, I weigh 85 now. Well, I don't weigh 85. But
We
let's
know.
say,
Shots fired.
well, I'll take it. I'll
Targets
take
down.
it. So let's say my goal by the end of the year is 60. There are things I need to do to get to that 60 kg.
Yeah.
And then, KPIs, corporate world, maybe quarterly or monthly or whatever you reviewed your KPIs. And so you know that by the end of January, if I was not able to lose 2 kg, then I know that it's as if I'm compounding the work I need to do in February. But that does not also mean that I put the pressure on myself throughout the year. There's something he said when it was opening, that you do not, if you don't achieve it, you don't throw it out.
Yeah.
As much as we say we go again, you still need to go again.
Go again.
If it's really something you need to do. So talking about the money part, right? We're talking about, okay, you don't have a job, you need to put things in place. What are the kind of people in your circle so that you don't keep moving in the maze? What are the people in your circle? Are the people that's worth that's 100 million naira? So if they are not, you need to go out more. You need to meet people. You need to be in the circle of people that would give you 100 million naira. That also brings something. So you need to go out more. You need to network. And then you're not just networking. What are the values you have to offer those people? Or what are the values you have that will make the 100 million naira come to you? There was a time I was trying to work on a project and I need funding. So I was talking to someone in a bank. And I remember I was talking to the person in January. And the man said, oh, this thing should have been done last year. Right? Because every organization, I believe, every organization have a vision for the year. So this is what we want to achieve for the year. And they set budgets. So they're not going to say, this is what we want to achieve for the year. And they just come to the office and do as if life goes on. They put things in place. Okay, so if the bank is saying we want to fund, our funding is going to be, let's say, 2 billion naira. Let's say 2 billion naira. The first come, it's going to be first come, first serve. So you come with your plans and they check it out. They check the plans and they say that, okay, it's actionable. There are things we can fund. And then someone is coming maybe in December, or let's even say September, to say, oh, we need funding for this thing. They may tell you that the quota for the year is filled up. But at the time I spoke to the person, he said, you see, we can't, he said, this thing should have been done last year. But I said, well, it's not too late. We're still in January. I can present all the things I need to present to you now. And if you find it sustainable, you fund it. So those are things I think we need to remove. Move your New Year resolution from just New Year resolution. The universe is not going to align for your resolution. Put KPIs in place.
All right, great.
So-
I like that. I like that perspective, which is good. So we are going to make an appeal to National Assembly that they should remove the new
The year.
From the year.
year and just
And
leave
so
it
year resolution.
So
You're making it worse.
why?
Because if you put it to year resolution now,
That
that means
is-
you mean that you need an entire year.
And actually to
to
achieve
even write
it.
it down.
Yeah, but that's on a
The
lighter
conscious
note
that
though.
we need is
Okay.
supposed to be like daily
Yeah.
decision.
All right, so this is what I want us to look at again now. As we've been in this kingdom and a renewed mind, Christ-like.
Yeah.
What is the place of confessions in attaining your resolution for the year? What is the place of confession in attaining the new? We should put the new bar. Yeah, the new,
In attaining, no, I only said
attaining
I only
your year
said put-
resolution.
put pressure. You pressure
Okay.
can be possible. and
either
negative.
way.
I think
So,
that-
so who wants to go on that now? So I
I'll go.
put in
Dorothy wants to
the
go
place
first.
of confessions,
I think that it
positive
is
confessions now.
high up there.
Yeah.
See, the
It's
kingdom
number
that
one.
we belong, exactly. It is
Yeah.
so high. It's like a queue, right? So there's a queue. There's number one. There's nothing else. Then there's a different queue altogether.
Yeah.
Do you understand the
Yeah,
point I'm
yeah.
trying to make? It compares to nothing, and it's not even just in our kingdom. You see, the thing about mouth and confession is so huge that everybody understands it. I was reading something somewhere. Somebody said, "Do you need consent to become a Christian?" And the answer was, even in cults,
Yeah.
you need to say something from your mouth for you to become a member.
Yeah.
Sometimes you say things you don't even know what you're saying. You're chanting.
Yeah.
It could be in another language. It could be whatever. But you're saying something. See, you will confess with your mouth. And it shall, see, the Bible says, you call forth things that are not as though they were. That means that there needs to be something you see. The earth, everything you see was made with the mouth. And God said, and he said, he kept saying. So we can't even debate the place of confession. It is high. You need to say it. You need to speak it. You need to become it.
Yeah.
Every single day. In fact, if your spirit drops, because you say, you would feel a jerk in your spirit. And as I said, it doesn't even have to be some Christian. It doesn't have to be those spiricoko people. Right. Even people who talk about what's the word? The secular.
Universe. They still talk about
This universe thing, for
Yeah.
instance,
Talk about
or people who say affirmation,
Yeah.
so whatever.
You have to say affirm every day, though.
Say.
Let me just add to the beautiful thing she said.
Yeah.
The Bible says life and death are in the power of the tongue.
Yeah.
Our word shapes the word. If you've noticed, I'm talking to Legend. There is something I've been doing, and I noticed people have been copying it. I started it, I think, in 2023. Every day on my WhatsApp story, I will write, "Nothing dies in my hand.
I like that.
I will not lack anything. I have sound health and sound mind."
Yeah.
Those words are powerful. And I noticed people started using it everywhere on their platforms. See, I don't ever tell myself I don't have money. Because if I say I don't have money, that word has gone forth. Whilst growing up, there is something that they used to say that the walls of our houses have ears.
Yeah.
And I tell you, that's not a joke. The moment you realize that your word will shape everything around you, you will start using those words correctly. You won't even allow someone to speak negatively about you to you.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was at the mechanic, and the guy was saying something. He said, this year, if like say things go tough. I said, it cannot be tough for me. I told him straight, it can't be tough for me. If that's your confession, it's okay.
Yours.
But for me, it will not be tough. So I think above everything you want to do in the year, you should walk in the consciousness of speaking positive words over yourself, over your workspace, and everything. If people say there's a casting down, what are you saying?
There's a lifting, yeah.
What are you saying? So I think positive confessions is something that you, as a child of God, should own. Even when you are calling people to give their life to Christ, you ask them to confess it. Because it's a personal decision. You tell them, say this after me. They will say it because they've made up their mind for the new life that they are coming into. So positive confessions and words should be a part of our daily living.
And he aids us to achieve
Yes.
the New Year resolution.
Yeah, so if you have things you've written down, you wrote that this year I want to drive XYZ car. You can speak
No. Is there a car like that?
No, I'm just
Me, I
saying.
want
I
to
didn't
drive
want.
that.
Okay, you want to
Yeah.
drive a Benz?
there is.
GLE.
You could call a company and tell
Yes.
them to make an
XYZ.
Yes,
car.
they're
Yeah.
Exactly.
XYZ.
That's
Benz,
that's it.
give me
So
please, somebody should give me Benz direct number.
what type of Benz,
Benz
do
do
you
you
need?
want?
Speak it for
XYZ.
now. As you speak
Yeah.
those words,
Yeah.
don't also fold your hands.
Thank
Because
you.
me,
Get to
I'm
work.
going to go to that part now, right? No
But
doubt.
don't
The
can I say
confession part,
something?
man, with the confession part is very important.
Yeah.
But you're not going to write and confess, I'm 50 kg. Today I am 50 kg.
So I think what the
I am
confession
50
does
kg.
is it's like she was talking about something and she said Surge. You confess, and he was talking about what you confess you become. Confession wakes it's put a consciousness in your head. I think that's the biggest work.
It's like a push.
It's a push.
Yeah.
You discover you get to that consciousness, and then you begin to. And this is not about. It is not a motivation. It is not just a motivational talk. You confess enough, and then you.
So this is it. So it moves from your conscious to your subconscious.
To your
So it
subconscious,
becomes
then
your second nature
Yeah.
to what. So not naturally for you. It becomes natural
It
for
becomes
you
natural.
to be that what you have been confessing.
Yes.
So
And
then,
you know,
it creates the enabling
Spur you
environment.
to action.
Yeah,
we,
you
we
will-
came in the morning and
it-
someone said man of the moment, right? And I said I'm not
Think-
man of the moment. I'm the man for all seasons.
Right.
And it's something I've held in my heart for a very long time. I heard it from a fella Drote. He was preaching one day and he said they introduced him and they said, "Oh, man of the moment." And he said he told God that, "Oh, really? So you just want to use me for a moment and leave me?" He said, "No, you can decide how I want to use you." And so he said he resolved in his heart, resolution, right, that he was not going to be a man of the moment. And one of my personal philosophy that I write in every journal I open is every day is a planting season. Every day is a planting season for the kind of harvest you want tomorrow. So I live by that. And so I'm not going to say I'm a man of the moment and their actions, I will relegate my actions to some things.
So, yeah.
So saying confessions, I have something I wrote as confession. And one of the things that influenced the things I wrote as my personal confessions, right, were things I was experiencing at the time. I was losing a lot of contracts. We'll do discussion, we'll get to the final phase, and it would seem as if they just opened a drain. And I kept saying, "The Lord is my cup and my portion. He preserves my lots. Nothing dies in my hands." I saw that in the scriptures. And I kept saying it. So no matter what, at the point in time, I wanted to relent, I got discouraged. But by the help of God,
Yeah.
the power of the confession, I just find unusual strength to want to try again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it started getting,
Great.
getting better.
Great.
Yeah.
It gets
Yeah.
better.
Great.
Do you
So
guys
that's the
remember
power.
there was a video that went viral at a point?
Yeah.
I think the woman was in the elevator and she was
Yeah,
going downstairs.
said, "Are you-"
And someone entered and
Said,
said, "Are you
"I'm
going
going
down?"
down."
I
I'm
can
Never
never
go down. Right.
That's a consciousness that she has.
yeah.
If you say, "Is the elevator going downward?" She can say yes. But you say, "Are you
Going, are you?
And she, "No, I can't."
All right. So this is
Even
it.
in a
I
joke.
think, for my own opinion,
Yeah.
I think she took it far.
Ah.
Yeah. So no problem, right? But same here with me too.
That's too personal.
There are
Too
some.
personal. It's too personal.
There are
And
for
I
some-
don't think it was too personal.
There
It's
are
a
some
conscious, like you
Yeah,
said, it's already
yeah.
her subconscious.
Conscious, yeah.
That don't
So-
it's her nature already.
Yeah. So there are things you don't say around me. There are exclamations you don't make, even when things are going bad. You don't say, for example, "Oh, it is finished for your enemy." Do you understand? You don't say that around me. "Oh, see what your life has become." Especially what I have to do with your life. Because I believe that when there is life, there is hope. That's why I love life a lot. I love it to the point that it is the only means God needs to get to you to change your story. It is life. Just be alive. The rest is story. Do you understand? So there are some things I've guarded my space with that you can't come and say some things. So even if I look at you, even if you are coming with one story or the other, the moment you get into my space, I'll be like, change the word. You are not going to say this because what happened only happened for now. You still have a bunch of eternity to live so you can be better. So confession is powerful.
Yeah.
They are very potent words and they make things happen. But we are not going to now rely on them to only carry out the action because both works together. Confession, that's why faith without work is dead.
Very
so
dead.
Your confession is your faith, is your expression of faith because you are confessing it, you are speaking it out. And the work needed is you making a step to ensure that the confession comes to reality.
Yeah.
Because there are a whole lot of confessions that are out there that they are hanging. For example, the person that is 80 kg, that want to be 50, that you are meant to eat the gym and work on your nutrition, on your lifestyle. But you are confessing, I am 50 kg. In the morning, I am 50 kg. And you just find out that I'm telling you, it's 90 kg. Right? So I'm enjoying this. So this is another aspect I want us to look at it. Yes, we've identified the merits. So it's not going to be that bad that it won't be that, there won't be, we've looked about talk about the myth, sorry. So, but New Year resolutions too should still have some merits too. So I want us to talk about the merits. So Jules, let me hear from you the merits. So since you are the one that preached the go again, if I break my colo in January, buy another colo in February, I can still break that one back.
Your decision. It's your decision to keep breaking. You know, breaking your colo, you're still spending the money you're meant to save to buy colo to save and break. Think about it. So you're spending.
So I should kuku just spend the colo.
Maybe.
Not spend.
And don't be
And don't be
colonized.
Colonized. Word.
I'm in the spirit.
Shove it down.
Drop prophet's offering.
So let's hear it.
Merits of New Year resolutions. So there are merits to New Year resolutions, or there are merit to goals, right? And the merit I see in it is, if I set a realistic goal, as Femela has said, and I want to buy a house in 2025. Yes, faith works, right? Someone gives you a house, there is that, the supernatural. But physically or with me, I have to put in steps to get a house. Realistic step. Okay, I want to grow my business to earn is this 7 figures in the first quarter of the year. Or I want to earn 1 million, for example, 1 million naira profit in 2025. It must be realistic. How many clothes do I intend to sell in January to earn 1 million? It has to be broken down. What I realized, the merit for me in New Year resolution is knowing that every goal has to be realistic. You want to lose weight. Probably last year you paid for gym membership and you never went to the gym. What?
It seems we have some people on the table here.
Actually, because the way she said it, chai, is as if it's personal.
Yeah.
Are you facing the gun on her?
I wouldn't know. So last year I had a resolution. I wanted, of course, I don't have all the weight.
You say what? You want to?
I'm not to lose weight.
Oh, you want
Calm
to
down.
add?
No, I want to be fit. There's a difference between being fit, losing weight, and adding weight. I just wanted to be fit. I realized that normally I could go 3 floors and I'm fine. And all of a sudden I'll go 2 floors and I'm already panting.
Old age.
Old age.
How?
You're getting old.
Old age. I'm old,
getting
man.
old.
I'm old. Yeah, there's that. But I realized I wanted to be fit. It's not because I want to compete with anybody going up the stairs. I just didn't like that I walk up a stairs and I'm breathing like I've ran Nigeria.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like.
Right.
I set a goal to become fit. I started out by running in the morning. Some mornings I'll run, some evening I'll run. I wasn't doing it to lose any weight. I was just doing it to build my stability, at my stamina. And I realized as the year went by, it became better. Those are personal goals. I made those personal goals. So for me, the merit of New Year resolution is being able first to distinguish your goals. There are personal goals, there are work goals, there are spiritual goals.
Yeah.
And as Dorothy has stated, spiritual is top on the line. Do you want to be more prayerful? What if all the days, all the goals you'll be setting is being prayerful that would have helped you achieve it, and you have decided not to pray in your life? So those are merit to New Year resolution. The merit for me is going back, looking at last year. Okay, I wanted to achieve all these goals, but what if a part of my spiritual life was the reason I couldn't? What if I wasn't prayerful enough? What if I didn't have the word of God more in my life? What if I didn't know that the Bible said by his stripes I'm healed, and every day I'm just trying to not be sick? So merit for me in New Year resolution is knowing fully well that you have a chance. It's knowing that there is a chance, just as we know we have a direct access to God. Every day brings new opportunities. So that's what New Year's resolution. Those are the merit for me. Knowing that every day is an opportunity to add value to your life. I'm making a decision. Like I said before, resolution is a decision to make, to do or not to do. The decision is in you. It's on you rather. And so for me, the merit is knowing that you have it in you to make a realistic time-bound resolution, and knowing that you have God in you to help you achieve it.
Great.
That's the
great.
merit.
Great. Femola, I would like to hear from you. Merit of New Year resolution.
Yes, merit of New Year resolution. I would say that you have to, let's say, segment different parts of your life. You know, okay, people, how did I perform in my last year with relationships with people? Or do I call them? What do I need to do? How do I get better? How do I respond to my WhatsApp messages? You have to break it down. Be very specific. Oh, when I see a message, do I say, oh, I'll reply later in my head? Or once I see, should I like it? Or should I say, oh, I'm doing something, so the person knows I'm doing something? Do I set a particular time in a week and say, oh, this time is for calling people, this time is for reaching out to my loved ones? And then when you say, because relationships with people is actually very important. People are social currency. Like, they are social currencies in the sense that what you can try so hard to get, you are trying to get into a company. One person can just speak for you and say, oh, I know that guy. Oh, he's very good. Like, it's that guy that did the contract of so and so. Oh, that guy really. And then you just scale through so many protocols, so many procedures, and you're just on top. So you look at relationships with people, you look at your career, you look at your health. Oh, am I fit? Oh, do I need to go for a checkup? Because many people even take that for granted. Do I need to go to the hospital and just see, oh, let me do, for women, they'll say, oh, it's good to do abdominal scan. Just in case, nothing might be there, but just to be sure, or in case you might have to detect something early. Like, so just write out those things, put action. This is what I want to do by so and so. Every second of, every third of every month, I want to do this. I would like to go to a spa or something. Just be very specific. I believe once we are specific with our goals, we are able to achieve it. And then, was it last year or 2 years ago? I wrote something. I started speaking into my life. Sorry, I'm going back to confessions. Every midnight, I realized that was a very sacred time. So I would just speak to my life, speak the scriptures. And there was something I used to declare. I used to say, like, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. Adefemola, I run into it, I am safe. My safety is established in the name of Jesus. It is not by a police officer. It's not by, oh, I know somebody. I know one uncle, one general somewhere. I am depending on the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. And at some point, I think because my kind of work can be quite sensitive And there was a time they said, oh, police officers were in our office, were looking for me or something. I was not there. I could not have been around because I know how I set the tone of my day. I could not, even at other times when they say, oh, something they were doing, looking for you or something, oh, that story. I think there was one story that I wrote, another journalist picked it up. They held this person. I'm not trying to discredit or, like, I'm not laughing at this person. I'm not trying to mock this person. They held the person for weeks, for months. And I didn't even realize it on time. It was like after a year. And then I started seeing so many websites writing about, like, oh, they left the main person that wrote this story to go after the person that copied this person. And it was DSS. It was not even your regular police. But I know how I talk to God. and conventions that you cannot even like the importance cannot be overemphasized. You cannot ignore it. And then for your goals, okay, there was a time I said I wanted to be writing like foreign newspapers, like your New York Times, your Washington Post. I don't want to be like a regular Nigerian journalist where effort to reach this person were abortive. I didn't want to be using all those mundane words. I wanted to get better. So how do I do this? And I was an intern where I started. How do I get better? I started reading, I think every 2 hours. I used to do 2 hours of reading. So there are times I might not be able to do 2 hours at a stretch. I could do like 30 minutes anytime I'm free, read New York Times. Okay, let me go to Politico. And before I knew it, even my editor started telling me that, oh, your writing has gotten way, way, way better. And when I look at some of my stories, now I'm like, oh, even New York Times, if they learn for where this one day.
Give them.
So I would say merit of, Merit of New Year resolutions. Like, it exists.
Yeah.
You just have to be specific about your goals and write your how to.
Great. Dorothy, so let's have your merit of New Year resolution.
Okay,
Share
so merits for me. I want
Yeah,
to
the merit is, the merit would be nice that by December end of this year, you now said, Convo crew, gather here.
Yeah.
So I was able to set a target of 100 million. I made double.
So,
drop all your names with Juliet.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, my mommy of Lagos. All right.
So I want to believe that merit is in the context of the advantage, right?
yeah.
Of setting these
Yes,
goals.
yes.
All right. So I think one, it keeps you on your toes. One, it serves as a reminder that you can, right? And if you paid attention to commercials, to campaigns, adverts these days, you would see that a lot of companies have shifted from just selling the products to speaking affirmation of some sort to their buyers. So they are telling you, yes, you can. They are telling you, what are we doing today? They are telling you, do this, do that, right?
Just do
It's a way of pushing you, telling you that there's a popular milk company, theirs I love. They're telling you it's so difficult to put yourself out there. You know, how do you feel putting yourself, but you can. Just dare to do it. I love it. So the idea of a resolution, the merit, that's the advantage of it, is that it puts you in a place of a can-do. Yes, I
Can-do
can
attitude.
do this. You know,
Yeah.
if you write it, that's why the first part of my talk, I talked about the cart and the horse. It is achievable if you can write it down. This is not perspire to require to acquire. What
At all.
I'm saying is that if you can actually think it, it is not as hard. Maybe you haven't even stretched yourself enough. Maybe that's why you're where you are. So if you can write it and do these things that are required of you, you may not even reach December for you to see results. So the merits are that, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And yes, you can.
Yeah.
I like that perspective too. So I'm going to hear the merit from you, fresh boy. So, yeah, and I'm going to ask every one of us after now, like, just a paraphrase of what you wanted to. What are you looking for? What's the year looking for you? Go ahead, please.
I
Fresh
think
boy.
they've all spoken well.
Yeah.
For me, New Year resolutions are good if they are not based on emotion. That they are realistic goals that you set, and it doesn't have to be 100 goals. It could be one thing, and you are disciplined enough to carry through. Because you can say, okay, I want to do this. It becomes too much. At the end of it, you can't even process it. And the year comes to an end and nothing has happened. So first, I think you need to be very disciplined. Discipline aids you to achieve most of the things that you set out to do. So another thing I feel it's very important is we need to have accountability partners. You know, what I realized about, I first of all identify that I'm more of a thinker and I have a lot of ideas in my head. So I need someone who will help me put action to those ideas. You know, find someone that is trustworthy, someone that can carry through with you, because there are people you will share those great visions with, and at the end of the day, they are slowing you back. Push them away and look for the right people that can work with you. And I tell you, it has its advantage. And before you know, like, I don't know if it's Dorothy that said, before the year even ends, you already hit your target.
Yeah.
So these goals or the resolutions does not necessarily have to come to an end in December. You can actually hit and set another goal again in the middle of the year. You see that you are making progress. So find people that align with your vision to drive it. You can achieve it. And like she said, you can achieve it. You can achieve it because with God, all things are possible.
I like that. Preach, Pastor Fresh boy.
That's
That
it.
sounds nice. Pastor Fresh.
Confuse my spirit.
No, be fresh.
All right. So, from my own take here, it's going to be New Year resolutions are real, they are achievable, they are attainable with right action to them. Right action to them. And you don't have to be too hard on yourself. In the
That's
case
why I
of
talked about the self-inflicted pressure.
pressure, you don't have to go that route, really, because take a stock of your own life, review your life personally, look at what works for you. Many a time, people take on another person's desire and goal, and which they are not wired for, right? So, and then, no matter how, and then a lot of people think their minute step does not count in attaining it. Many people used to think their minute steps really do not count in attaining their resolution. So what I would advise is, no matter how little those steps are, ensure that they are consistent. For example, this podcast is not really meant to come to a play. So I was thinking that, okay, we need to put up some stuff. I itemized so many things that will be needed to be done before we'll be able to start shooting. And I see that guy. Before all of these things going to happen,
We're gonna take.
yeah. And one thing about ideas that I've found that I was able to crack is it doesn't have to start fantastic. Okay. And which means
perfection.
Yeah, which means that goal, that resolution, you don't have to hit the landmark at the get-go. You can do your baby steps. It's allowed. But make sure it's consistent. Your baby steps are so allowed, but make sure they are what? Consistent. And then a little drops makes a what? The ocean. So when the drops don't drop, there won't be any water to even make an ocean. So keep the drop dropping so that by the end of the year, you can have an ocean already.
I think I wanted to add something to what you said.
Yeah.
One of the major problems I think a lot of us have is we want things to be perfect. There is no perfection anywhere.
Yeah.
What you see that is looking perfect is a gradual process that has built up to that thing that you like. A lot of people don't like the little beginnings, and that's where they get discouraged.
Yeah.
You need to go back and start from where you are and grow to what you want to see. Don't be afraid of people laughing at those your little beginnings, because they will laugh at you.
Great.
You see, the reason why there is procrastination in things is because you are waiting for perfection. And please, in 2025, kill that mindset.
All right. So I'll go around now to ask each and every one of us just a little bit of what we should expect from you this year. Are you going to invite us for that housewarming? Me, I'm going to come home this year.
Plenty money. Go to follow.
Yeah. Before I follow you, calm down. Before you wax your album, Chris, what should we expect from you this year as we round up on this episode?
Thinking about it for this year, I want to focus, expand my personal brand. You know, the name of my company, right? It's Brochures, right? Brochures. So, tilting away from Brochures, I want to focus on my own personal brand and be known as the Brocher, because opportunities are coming up to set up companies, set up real estate companies, and do a bit of strategy, optimize the structure, operational structure. So That's then groundbreaking for estates. I look forward to
I
doing
like
that.
that. I like that. I like that.
Setting up hospitality businesses. Those are parts of the vision for the
Great, great, great. So is the pulpit is in progress. Apostle is already building his pulpit. Nice. So let's hear from you. The Femola, let's hear from you. Maybe the wedding bell.
Precious.
No precious, no pressure. But like, the jollof rice is you have to be jollof in.
Love, price of course. How much is one bag?
It's part of the people that are talking about. These are the issues, only you.
All right, so what should we expect from you this year?
Well, I'm not going to be hiding again on my Instagram.
Great.
I think I've been hiding for so long. No, not anymore. I'm
We
showing
break
up.
the table,
In
we're
all
gonna
my
show
glory,
up.
in all God's glory.
Yeah.
I'm showing up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be punctual.
Yeah.
Oh, then award-winning international journalist.
Oh shit! By the special grace
right.
of God, I like that. I like that. I like that part of saying she's going to show up. For me too, I really, I really don't like being in front of the camera. I don't like it. A lot of people knows that, right? Yeah. Wait. We didn't get here like this. It takes some muscles, like vein, yeah, some push, right? But for me this year, we're gonna do it.
Okay.
Yeah. For the lack of better words, in the other word, we're gonna pick this up. Yeah. Right? So we just so this year for me is a year of anywhere in the Duam, we go there.
Showing up.
Yeah, we're showing up big time. Whatever it is, we are showing up big time this time. For me, for this year, it is going to be more of audacity. I'm going to be more audacious about my moves. I wanted to be more confident. Yeah, a very intentional one. Like I'm here, and I'm going to demand my flowers.
That's right.
Yeah, from
That's
where
right.
Bring it as a bouquet.
We've been at the back of the whole thing for a while, so it's time for us to actually
Be at the forefront.
yeah. So this
That's my
year,
leader.
my head is big. I'm going to look at you in the camera. My is big. You are going to see more of this big head. So get ready, please. If you want to minimize on your screen, you can do that. But then I'm going to leave your screen. I ain't going nowhere this year. I no agree. So let me hear from you. Onachi.
Yeah, I think I've been a very shy person. I think
Really?
Shy,
yeah.
All the shy
I don't like
Wow.
I don't like being in front of the camera. People who know me know that. I'm the behind the scene guy. So when Wale invited me, I felt this an opportunity to kill that fear. You know, we have a podcast studio, but that podcast studio have been there because there's nobody to anchor the different shows we have. You know, and so for me, I think it's one of the big steps I've taken. Sometimes I feel I'm not good enough to be in front of the camera. I would rather prepare people to be in front of the camera. But seeing me do this is a big win for me. Another thing I don't do is social media. I hate TikTok. But I opened a TikTok account on the 31st. And guess what? I've been posting every day. So I even wrote and I said, wait, my first post, I got 360 something
That
views.
place,
That was like,
I'm telling you.
I said, this means that they are waiting for me.
Yeah.
And I've been consistent.
Great.
I hate phones, cameras, and all that, you know. But one of the things I also told myself that this year, I killed that shyness. I'm good enough for people to see my face.
Yeah.
So my cameras, my
Confession.
phone would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anywhere I am right now, if you can do good, please do me video.
Straight up.
Because it's going on TikTok. So that's one of the things.
I like that. I
I
like
like to
that.
see myself.
I like
too.
that. Dorothy, let's hear from you.
Okay, so for me, I can't pass for a shy person. So I can't even pretend to be shy.
You are not.
I can't pass. So my one problem has been that I'm busting. So there's just so much going on inside of my head at the same time, and it's so hard to pin down what exactly it is I want to do. So 2025, first of all, I decided very recently. That's not the one I did on 31st. This is another one. This is yet another one. I am starting my YouTube channel. Keep the change. I'm doing that. I am also, you know, deciding to narrow down on a lot of things. So if I have so many ideas, I can actually channel them, you know, to different sources. Yes. So I am settling more. Yeah, I think that's a better way to put it. I'm settling more. I'm funneling. You know, there's an outlet. It's going to pour forth different sources, but for finding out.
Great, I like that. I like that. So I think it's
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 only me
looking
that don't
similar.
have
It's looking
before.
similar. So let's hear you for the year Jews of Africa. Are we going to have more art? Are
Oh
we going to
yeah,
have a
yeah.
whole lot? Yeah.
So last
So
year,
in a very
you know
few
how?
statements.
Yeah, you know how? I don't know. I'm an artist, yeah. So there's something like artist complex, yeah, where you can do the greatest work and you just feel it's not good enough to put it out there. Last year, I say, you know what? I will do this thing. We then like they pick it. If they like, they don't pick it, yeah. So this year it paid off. So it's a continuation. I'm going to continue putting out my work. I got my first biggest, not exhibition. I did an illustration for a fashion brand and it was awesome because I decided to put out my illustration. I have books and books of drawings and artworks I've done and I don't put them out. So I've decided, you know what? They'll be seeing
We're
this
coming
art.
out.
Yeah, we're coming out. Yeah, so posting more, being more, posting more on my social media, being more intentional, showing up every day, regardless. You know, sometimes we get carried away of and only one person see my view,
Yeah.
and it just sort of just makes you. There's no point. But you know what? If they like, they should see too. They like, they should not. In short,
Yeah.
the decision is as I post it, I'm the first to like it.
Straight up.
So that may be first, so that's a decision. Another decision is to save more. I used to save, but to be more, to continue, to
All
be
right.
more intentional
All
about
right,
that.
all right. I think
And to
that's
stop
yeah.
procrastinating.
Great one,
on
great
answering
one.
WhatsApp messages.
So it's quite a bit similar, and then we are all taking on a new opportunity, doing
Yeah.
something new, and then breaking out of our comfort zones, and then letting go of that imposter syndrome, not enough mentality, right? The truth is, no one was enough when they started. So there was something that our first debut episode that we did. So I put on my status that people should drop feedbacks and how can we get better and all of those things. And a whole lot of people dropped what they wanted to drop. Some people make comments about the microphones and all of those things. So in my head, I said I'm going to probably make it happen for some kind of microphone. Then I hear in my spirit, Holy Spirit whispered to me that it was the way Holy Spirit speak to me. He used I'm a guy. So he speak my guy. And do you know what he said? What are you going to use for your throwbacks? That one enter. I said, So what will you use for your throwbacks? Because your beginning is another person's motivation.
That's right.
True, true,
So
true.
if Jesus came from heaven like this, like he just dropped, we will not be able to live our Christian life perfectly because he came perfect, flawless. Yes, he's human, he's perfect, but he went through human experiences. He has daily human experiences. Like what Unachi said, we all want to have it perfect, but Rome is not built in a day. But like our community, they say, now every day they mix cement.
Yeah.
No be one day they build room, but now every day
Yeah,
they
they
mix
mix
cement. So which means do those little steps today, and you're going to amount into that big conglomerate you want to see. From many of you in your new endeavors, God is going to give you more strength to carry on, and He's going to make resources available and the kind of encouragement you need. God is going to make it available also, because in this our journey, we also need encouragement too. If your own kind of encouragement is 1,000 views per day, you shall get it.
Yeah.
And for you, if it's a
Amen.
call from that important person you've been trying to get in touch with
Yeah.
and said, okay, I saw your proposal and I like it and I'm going to jump on it for you, it's going to happen for you this year in the name of Jesus. So it's
Yes,
a
amen,
confession,
Papa.
right? So no problem. As you are leaving, you can drop your offering on the small table. So it's a wrap for us today again on this edition of The Convo, Faith, Kingdom and Lifestyle Conversation. And I hope this edition is going to bless you richly. And I want you to drop in the comment section your own New Year resolution for someone, to encourage someone. And don't forget, subscribe to this YouTube channel at Peace House International Christian Center, or you search The Convo on YouTube. Then put up the notification to when the new video drops so you can know. And then again, follow us on all our social media handle at Convo234. So until I come your way again next time, my name remains Wale the Legend. Thank you.